All right, welcome to a special episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. I'm your brother Ogar from Hip Hop News Uncensored. And sitting across from me is my co-host.
What up, y'all? It's your man Sam and Viral Hip Hop News. We are live on this Friday evening. Y'all drop them area codes and y'all come in the building. We are the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast with a special guest in the building, like my brother Ogar said. Bro Ankh is in the building from Georgia. Yeah. Bro Ankh, how you doing tonight, family?
Hey man, I'm here, man. I'm good, man. I'm doing my thing, man. Got a nice crew, man, the pseudo killers, man, and we, I'm saying, we're just practicing scientific literacy, man, and getting it right.
No doubt. So you're not Amara Squad no more?
Of course, man. That's the foundation, bro. I'm a raw squad up all day long. That's the foundation, man. But that's the banner. You know what I'm saying? And under that. Different groups do different things, man. I think it's all, scientific literacy, making it real simple, right? So that people can just, not get taken advantage of by the conspiracy theorists. Yeah, they take advantage of you.
Yeah, we're going to definitely get to those, the conspiracy guys on YouTube. Let's start off, though, man. You in Georgia today.
Right.
And opening these businesses, supposedly. How you feel about that? And how is it down there from the start?
Well, I'm not listening to that, right? Who would jump out there like that? And, especially when the lead scientist says, don't do it, right? And he wouldn't recommend it, then you just can't do it. So I'm just trying to figure out where is the governor getting this information from? Thank goodness the mayor decided not to follow suit in Atlanta. You feel me? And that's real interesting right there. So that should give us kind of a motivation to want to take steps to get involved in politics, right? At least on the voting level. You know what I'm saying? To get our people in there that got our best interests at hand. Because right now the government just saying, yeah, go ahead, throw the beauty salons in there, throw the barbershops and stuff like that. But these are all the businesses that we actually frequent. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like the conspiracy thing, but it's just very, very interesting. So, if we're not literate in science, man, we might just run right out there right now. It's crazy, man.
So what do you think the timeline is going to be? You think we got to wait on the vaccine? Should we wait, like take it, step by step? What do you think? Like, how should they unroll this thing and letting people get back to normal? Because in the meantime, people out of work, they can't work. Ain't no money coming from the government, so people starting to struggle. How you feel about that?
Well, here comes the business decision. They'll start to say, well, they're going to have to open it up sooner or later because people need surgeries. We're not even talking about the coronavirus. We're talking about everyday old things that's killing you anyway. Heart attacks, high blood pressure, people are having strokes, just car accidents, people in shootings, you know what I'm saying? Supplies, stores. You know what I'm saying? So in a minute, it's going to have to be a business decision where they say, well, more people will die by us being closed, you know what I'm saying, than us being open, right? So they're going to start gambling with your life. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just business. But right now, I'm looking at Faraji, I think that's his name, the top scientist. Did I pronounce his name right? He said, I think June 22nd or something like that. That's my man Sheffrin on there. What's going on, Sheffrin?
What's going on, fellas?
Deck, man. There you go, Kent. Pseudo killer on deck, man.
Yeah, man.
Peace, brothers. Peace,
man.
What's up?
What's up?
So yeah, I'm looking at like June. I think like June 22nd is when they really said that would be a good target date. That the mayor, the governor of Atlanta said he's gonna do it. He did it today. So if the top scientist says no, he wouldn't recommend it. Top health official. Then, come on, man. That's why our community need to be scientifically literate to take care of themselves. And as for needing money, I think this has actually showed us that all the movements that we thought we created, whether it be the Black Power movement, this, that, and the other movement, the conspiracy movement, it didn't allow our community to be able to fight what's going on right now. We just not ready. Sometimes you need experiences like this to really find out who your friends are, and then find out what condition, are we in, like being in shape, like eating healthy. Right? I mean, we all promote that, right? Good food, You know, whether it's veganism or just balanced meals, but not fast fooding yourself to death like they got in all the black communities, right? So we shown that we're not in as good as health as this community need to be. You know, nature got a way of showing you what's really up.
No doubt.
Talk about you said you want to debunk the conspiracy theorists. What are the conspiracy theorists saying right now that aren't true in regards to the coronavirus?
Start with the 5G, if you will.
Chef, you want to jump on that?
Oh, I was muted. Yeah, we can deal with the 5G. The 5G conspiracy is basically for people who are scientifically illiterate. They don't understand technology. 5G does not give off enough radiation to cause harm to your cells. That's just period. It's no scientist that's been debunked since this conspiracy has started. We also had a couple experts. We had Dr. Mayat, who is a professor in electrical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
She came on and spoke about it. We also had a guy, Kyle, who builds the 5G network, and he came on and talked about it. So it's two kinds of radiation. You have ionizing radiation and you have non-ionizing radiation. Non-ionizing radiation does not harm human beings at all, right? So that's been debunked. Another thing I want to say, I live in Baltimore City. It was an incident like 3 weeks ago, and they recorded it on Instagram. I don't know if y'all seen it. A white police officer walked through a project courtyard, right? We have low-rise projects in Baltimore. And they recorded a white police officer walking through a crowd of black people in the low-rise project courtyard, and he started coughing as a joke, right? And the black people, it was some sisters, they started to scream, "We don't catch the coronavirus. That's for y'all. White people catch it." So when it first started, black people actually believed, a segment of black people actually believed that we didn't catch it. So we were more vulnerable from miseducation, right? We left ourselves open at the start because we had all kind of conspiracy theories. Then we also started after that, when it was debunked that black people were catching it. Next thing you know, they started coming up with 5G. So 2 weeks into it, when people were supposed to wear masks, black people wasn't even wearing masks yet because we were believing, well, a segment of us were believing that it was coming from 5G and it wasn't being caused through aerosol. So you see how it snowballs? We always weeks behind. You see what I'm saying? But other communities be up on the information readily. We start calling it a conspiracy theory. Kit, you want to build on that?
Yeah, I've had to unmute myself. Yeah, man. It gets out of hand to where when it becomes conspiracy theories and people just start making up all kind of stuff about, the virus was created in the labs and it's the government trying to kill us and take us out. You know what I mean? It gets to the point where people really stop even taking it serious because they hear so much stuff. It's like, well, man, that can't be that bad. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got people you got the government or the city opening up certain parts of like certain states or whatever, and people about to go out there and intermingle with each other and just don't even take it serious, and it's getting bad. You know what I mean? But I had a point I was going to get on, but I forgot it.
Hey, look, Kent. Hey, fellas, black people shouldn't go back outside until they open up them golf courses. You feel me? When they start opening up stuff for white people, that's when they start trying to open back up black barbershops and stuff where they know we're gonna flock to, right? And infect each other. Don't don't go along with that. When they start opening up them golf courses, yeah, that's when you start to think, okay, maybe the coast is clear. They ain't gonna kill themselves. Now that's a conspiracy theory. So
right.
I mean, we all suffer from it. You feel me?
The vaccine part, though.
Word.
Anybody want to jump on that? Now, people are saying we got to wait to get a vaccine, and then you got people out there that are saying that. I was listening to something earlier that it's all these chemicals that cause all this stuff in vaccines. Is any of that stuff true? Can anybody touch on that?
No. First of all, I debated the largest anti-vaccine community in America and probably the world in December of last year. And Dale Bigtree and them. He made the two movies, anti-vax movies. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with that. Pretty sure people have seen that. And the reality is the only thing that has been effective to stopping viruses from decimating, bacterias and viruses from decimating the human population for the last 300,000 years was vaccine. So vaccine science, you got vaccine science, you actually got inoculation, which is the precursor to vaccines. You can go to West Africa, the Ankh tribe, they was doing a form of inoculation. And by the time they get to the colonies, by the time they're enslaved and get to the colonies, you get a slave named Onesimus, right? Slave master was actually a preacher. His name is Cotton Mather, and he was going through a smallpox outbreak. Okay, this is around 1703. And he was wondering why the slaves was just sitting back chilling. You know how we going through this right now, right? Everybody in the slaves was chilling. They was like, well, why are you chilling? And Onesimus said, well, back where we come from, we got a slit in our arm. They do a surgical procedure where they cut your arm and they put an infection in there and they sew it up. So they was actually giving them a little piece of the infection to actually stimulate their immune system, which causes a defense system. So by the time they come across a full-scale smallpox, right, their body is defended against it. So they wasn't worrying about that. And so, also in China, they had a form of inoculation, right? And I think in Constantinople, they also had a form. But what we got here, right, was brought by the Africans. So actually inoculation, which later on became popularized with Jenner, he develops your first vaccine in Europe, all right? And so, Cotton Mather, he writes in his diary, and he sends it off to Europe, and they look at it and they start looking around and find it. And what they realize is that, yeah, this procedure probably can work. And so they developed their first smallpox vaccine. So this is African genius. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about vaccine science, you're really talking about the African genius. And I brought this up at the debate. Of course, they don't know about that. So the question was what about all the stuff in it? Let's take one that everybody's familiar with. What do you want to say? Mercury. Mm-hmm. Okay? Right. But the product they actually used to use in vaccines was thermosol. Look it up, thermosol, right? And so with mercury, you got two types of mercury. You got thiomercury and methyl mercury. My fault, ethyl mercury and methyl mercury. Now, methyl mercury is what's produced when the earth was formed, the core of the earth, and it comes up in the seas, and it comes up with earthquakes and volcanoes. It rises to the top. That's why you get mercury in fish that we eat, right? At certain levels. Also, when a baby, when a woman breastfeeds its baby, right, she also has, quote unquote, methyl mercury in her milk, right? Now, the product they put inside the vaccine is ethyl mercury. The ethyl mercury actually gets out of the system faster, right? And it's not as much as when a mother breastfeeds the baby. So I'm gonna say this again, when a mother breastfeeds the baby, you will get more mercury, the dangerous variety, than is actually put in vaccine, which is ethyl mercury. No one will actually take the time to explain it to you. And by the way, man, for the most part, most vaccines don't even have thermosol in it no more, because people complain about it so much, not because it wasn't safe, right? Because they just was anti-vaccines and complained about it. So as for those ingredients, you can look up all the ingredients. This is the part we was talking about before we went live. right? It's kind of hard because it's dealing with science. You know what I'm saying? What mother could actually look at all the ingredients and know what it is?
Look like we may
Well,
have
thank goodness we're in the information age. I could be the Philadelphia
connection broke up a little.
hospital. You have an vaccine site. Well, I couldn't hear you.
Go.
Could you hear me?
A little bit, but you back on. Go ahead.
Came back on. Yeah, I said a good website. We go to the Philadelphia's, I think, Children's Hospital. Hey, Chevron, make sure I got that source right. I want everybody to get that. And any questions you want, you can actually ask them. So the question is, why are vaccines so effective? And why not something like vitamin D or just eating good food? You know what I'm saying? You want to add something to that, Kent? Why the food? Why no matter how you eat might not be, ain't gonna be as serious as vaccines?
Yeah, I mean, because like vaccines, your body is building antibodies to fight, you know what I'm saying? So that the next time it comes in contact with the virus or whatever, you got it. You know what I'm saying? The food that you eat is not going to have nothing to do with creating antibodies for it. It's going to make, like, if you eat healthy, your immune system is going to be good, you know what I mean? But you can't, you know what I'm saying? You just can't get around having that virus. You know what I mean? When you get the vaccine, you're not even given the full virus. You're given like a weaker version of it or a dormant version of it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not the same effect with food. That just it's not the same thing. You know what I mean?
Antiquated. Then they call it antiquated, right?
And you also don't want to get the full-blown version of the virus because the consequences could be way worse than if you get a vaccine. You know what I mean? You can get the virus and have like some lung damage or something, or some liver damage or something like that. That's going to last way longer than if you get a vaccine that's not going to have nowhere near any kind of like type of long-term damage, for the most part. So, that when people say, oh, okay, I'd rather just catch it and build my immune system or build my antibodies up that way rather than get the vaccine, they don't really know the difference in the risk that they're taking with that.
Well, we can see it right now. So everybody listen to the show right now, man. And just shout out to your listening audience, man. You have a very intelligent listening audience. Right now, what we're experiencing is a world without a vaccine. Here you go. We can't go to work. Can't be around all your friends. Social distancing. Got to wear a mask. The elderly are being attacked. Those who aren't as in good shape, they're being affected a lot by the virus because there is no vaccine. As a matter of fact, there's a key word in this. It's called novel. So they call it the novel SARS coronavirus 2. Mm-hmm. Word novel means for the first time in human history, right, that this particular pathogen has came in contact with the human immune system, which has no protection against it. It also means that for the first time in human history, this is the first time we've actually identified this pathogen, right? So they have a few scientific hypotheses on how this would have came to be. Now, y'all need to look up the word scientific hypotheses so y'all can understand what's going on. Now, the word novel, right, is very important because it seems like the government is real scrambled up. It seems like the scientists are very confused. That's because it's novel. They don't know. They learn something new about this every day. They don't really know how it affects the body, right? They don't know. And this is the gray area that the pseudo joins in. See, they don't know. Right. If the professionals that actually study immunology and pathology don't know, then how can somebody sitting on YouTube or running around our neighborhood know? Right. This is a brand new disease. You know what I'm saying? Corona-19 is the disease caused by the novel SARS coronavirus 2. Right. And so there's a lot of conspiracies. They made it in the lab. You know what I'm saying? We can address that if y'all want to.
Definitely. I want to talk about the origin of it. Where was it made? Did it come from animals? Did it wasn't made in the lab? And also want y'all to elaborate on why does it seem to affect or kill, I should say, more Black people and Latino people? Those two questions.
Anybody?
Okay. The origin of it is it's still a gray area, the complete origin of it. But they narrowed it down. It actually comes from bats, right? Now, how it transferred over to humans is the gray area. They don't know whether, well, they believe that a bat infected another animal that came in contact with us. They know it don't come directly from the bat, right? Because the receptors on it from the bat strain does not connect to the human cell. So they found the intermediary animal that the virus attached to that that the connectors could connect to the human cell. So they believe it comes from an animal called a pangolin or something. First time I ever heard of this animal, but it's called. They said a pangolin was infected by a bat or came in contact with a bat and caught it from a bat. And the pangolin actually, the receptors in the pangolin cell enabled it to connect with the receptors in the human cell. So that's how it came over to the human being, right? That's how it got into the human population. Now, far as wise whether it was created in a lab, right? Now that's sketchy, right? Because they do have there was a lab in Wuhan, China, right, that was dealing with the coronavirus, right? So they kind of sketchy. China didn't release all of the information on it, right? So we really don't know yet about where it actually came from, but we do know that it comes from bats that infected another animal, and that's how it affected us. Now, what was the other question? Go ahead.
Let me add to that real fast, right? So the being created in the lab, right? That was definitely on the table. But they actually ruled that out based off of they've actually mapped out the genome of the virus, the pathogen itself. And based off the mapping out of the genome, right, they know it's not man-made. So like right now they can clone sheep, right? They can actually clone biological organisms, right? So if let's say Kent cloned some sheep, right? And he give me the sheep to test, I can actually tell whether those sheep, was actually cloned or occurred natural. They know that the pathogen occurred natural. Now, it also, because the corona is in a family of viruses, the word corona means crown because it looks like a crown, right? Now, you have a family of common coronaviruses that actually have the same symptoms as the common cold. So a lot of us that's not really been affected, right? Like kids, because kids have a lot of colds, right? They actually have cross immunity, to the novel SARS coronavirus 2 based off of the family of coronaviruses, right? Look it up, go to the CDC and type in common coronavirus family. You'll see that they actually stuffy nose, coughing, and so they say it could have mutated in humans too, right? Because they used to connect to the receptors in the nose, right? Now they're trying to figure, well, how does it connect to the receptors, the ACE2 in the lungs, right? So they thinking it could have mutated in human beings over time. You know what I'm saying? So the information is there for us. We don't even need a conspiracy for it. But like I said, science and scientific literacy has not been something that has been promoted in the community. And I'm glad that, the pseudo killers, the Umrah Squad, Mossy Clan warriors, this is exactly what we do. We promote scientific literacy to the community, right? It's a place you can go to get the real answers.
Somebody's asking, why does it have a patent number? The virus, or does it have a patent number? I'm not sure.
The virus and the vaccine has one, if I'm not mistaken.
Hold on. Now, let me ask y'all, what do y'all think that means?
Yeah.
I would think that it means it was created by somebody, and then they trademarked it or something like that, or like registered it. I mean,
business,
yeah.
Okay,
but I mean, I could be totally off.
Right.
Totally off.
Right. So that's what the majority of our community believes.
Okay.
You feel me? Like, so once you hear patent, you think somebody created something. Like if I go patent, but in science, right, that's completely different.
Okay.
The patent actually means that they isolated the pathogen, right? And now the scientific community, whatever lab patents it, now they can send it around to other labs and they can really research it. It means it's been isolated out of its natural state. So now we can be researched. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the patent really
give you credit. I did it. I was the one that isolated it. I did it. You know what I'm saying? I got the patent for it. There's been nothing on record that says that whoever actually isolates that particular virus, you know what I'm saying, keep it from everybody else. There's no evidence of that. As a matter of fact, it's very free flowing. And that's why you see that studying all around the world. But see, so you got to understand it. Like, if you don't understand it, that's the gray area for the pseudos and the conspiracy theorists that actually run with that, right? So if I say theory, right, and I say a theory to a scientist is different from a theory, you know what I'm saying, to the everyday old community. You know what I'm saying? So if I say, yo, shorty right there, man, boy, she fat to death, man. Well, why you think she fat to death, man? Man, because, man, I know, man, mother was feeding them grits, you know what I'm saying, while she was growing up, yo, with that butter, yo, that shit went right to that. Man, that's a theory when everyday people talk about that. But a scientific theory would be a coming together of verifiable facts, the organizing of facts. Well, one, women carry a lot of fat, right, on a body, on a butt. Two, women carry more fat overall. They're more buoyant. If you put a woman in water, she's going to float more because she carries more fat. You know what I'm saying? So they would give you the facts and organize the facts on why certain people got larger, butts than others. Totally different, man. So this is the area that they play with, bro. So that's why we got the pseudo killers. You know what I'm saying? Because we all love hip hop, right? You know what I'm saying? We all love Africa and we care about black people. So I'm feeling like, man, that hip hop generation, man, they, come on, man. They got to be able to get the real information, man.
I want to talk about vaccines again. I want to jump back on that. You talk about the diseases that they hit us with in the last couple of decades, Ebola, bird flu, SARS. They all tried to push vaccinations for that. And yet still here we are. What, because in my mind, and I hear everything everybody's saying out there on the panel, and I appreciate everybody out there, but my common sense will tell me never to get fucking vaccinated, simply because why does a chemical do what the body naturally can't? Please explain that to me and to the people. And are you guys, just for the record, pro-vaccination? Are you thinking vaccination is the end-all, be-all to this situation? Because that's what I feel like they're pushing toward, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I can answer a little bit on that. I'm pro-vaccines. I used to didn't really care too much for vaccines because I used to say the same thing. Well, I mean, I ain't never had the flu before, so why do I need to take a flu shot? You know what I'm saying? I'm healthy. Things like that. But when you actually understand how these viruses evolve, and they have to keep coming up with different flu shots to catch each evolution of it, stage of it or whatever, and to deal with different strains, then you understand, like, okay, they have to come up with different vaccines. You can't just get the same vaccine and then next year or 2 years from now, that same vaccine works on this flu virus. You know what I'm saying? It's like with roaches, you get raid, and then next thing you know, you can't kill them with the same raid. You gotta switch it up. So you know what I mean? So the human body does protect us, like it builds antibodies, like I was saying earlier about catching it naturally.
Right.
But you could end up having long-term damage effects from dealing with it head on. But if you get that vaccine, you're not dealing with the full brunt of the virus. You're dealing with a weaker version. Like if that's another thing why people don't trust vaccines, because they don't actually understand how they work. You know what I'm saying? And it's not their fault. It's just we haven't been really properly educated on the full scale of it. But you're getting a weaker version of the virus. So weak to where it's not going to cause you to get sick. It's going to cause your body to build the antibodies. Or you're getting a dormant version, which is pretty much, is not active. It's not live or whatever. And your body is still building these antibodies, but it's not building it at the cost of you getting some kind of long-term damage and stuff like that. But I mean, to explain, I don't know if Uncle or Chef, y'all want to explain how the vaccines work any further, but it's just a process, you know what I'm saying? And then people got to also understand evolution, and that's a whole other thing that the black community ain't really rocking with, you know what I mean, on a large scale. But
hold on. Here you go. Let's come to time period 165 to 180. Okay? BCE. All right, you got Antonian plague, right? It was either smallpox or measles. Now, how many of y'all worried about measles? Guess how many people died? 5 million. Measles, bro. So, matter of fact, all y'all on the podcast been vaccinated. Am I right or wrong? You old guard, you been vaccinated?
I'm pretty sure. Probably when I was young. Yeah.
How about you, Kent? You been vaccinated?
Man, I had all the shots. I mean, one thing I wanted to add was the chicken pox. Like everybody used to have chicken pox at one point in their life back in the day. You don't even hear about that too much nowadays because of vaccination.
How about you, Steph? You been vaccinated?
Definitely been vaccinated. My children don't know nothing about chicken pox.
And measles.
I heard of it.
Measles and mumps. So I'm a little bit older than y'all, right? I had the daggone chicken pox, right? So ain't none of us did. It ain't killed none of us. Okay, how many of y'all know somebody that died from a vaccine in your community or in your family? Raise your hand. Nobody. Okay, how many of y'all know somebody died from a drug addiction in your family or in the community? Raise your hand. How many of y'all know somebody died from a gunshot wound? Raise your hand in your community. How about a heart attack? Raise your hand. Okay. So I mean, I can keep going on and on and on. How many of y'all know people been in prison and locked up in your community or your family? Raise your hand. So obviously, vaccines aren't the issue in our community. It's the miseducation of it. So you were saying, why not just go without natural immunity? Well, let me ask you a question, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're going through our natural immunity. How you like it? Here you go.
I'm personally.
It's over 15,000 people dead in New York right now because of their natural immunity is not working. They don't have no immunity to it.
There's no immunity.
You see what I'm saying? You don't. Over 15,000 people are dead in New York right now. If your natural immunity worked like people think it, then why is all these people down? Why are we locked in our houses?
Well, I mean, in all fairness to those people, though, I mean, are they properly putting the things in the right nutrition in their car to have it running right in case of a storm? Most of these, pardon my language, but most of these people out here aren't even properly putting nutrition into their bodies the correct way to even fight against anything.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with you almost. The almost part is, man, if you get the measles, yo, do you want to be blind, yo, and have brain damage, bro? Yeah, you know that the key to getting the disease is that you get sick, bro. No matter how much well you eat, you could be a straight vegan, eat perfect, exercise every day. You catch a virus, right? Then you done for a minute. You're gonna catch a fever. You know what I'm saying? Fever kill more people than wars. You catch a fever, your body start breaking down. How about the smallpox, yo? You eat whatever you want to eat. How about in the Mediterranean, bro? How about in the Nile Valley? They was, man, pre-industrial age, man. They weren't any chemicals in the air, none of that. No cars, no buses. Man, they eating food straight from the ground that they're growing. And I can go down the list of getting wiped out. How about the Roman Empire? Man, eating all natural fruits and foods and vegetables from the Mediterranean. That don't stop you. You still got to go through the sickness. That's the point. You're going to get sick. That's the point we're trying to make. The problem is that Black people aren't as healthy. So when they get sick, they're dying. You get that point? So even if you're healthy, right, you don't know how your body's going to react to that pathogen. You're still going to get sick. You're just going to be down for 4 or 5 days. You ain't going to work. You might be one of the ones in great health, but you still end up in the hospital because it has attacked your lungs. You've been working out all the time. You're a boxer. You know what I'm saying? What about the football players? They eat good.
Well, how come none of them are dying?
That's a fact because they're in better shape. But hold on. Wait. You got people who okay, I got you. Let me get this straight. Let's go to 1918 because it's also based off the pathogen. Do you know who died the most in 1918?
Speak on it, brother.
1918, the younger people immune system got attacked with the H1N1. I'm gonna say it again. The H1N1, this was insidious pathogen, and it for the most part attacked young immune system. So people like you, Kid and them, y'all was done. The older people survived. I'm gonna say this one more time so we all can get this. Let it sink in for one moment. Look it up. 1918. It was a pandemic. 4% of the human population got wiped out. Okay? This particular pathogen left the old people alone. The young people got wiped out. This particular pathogen leaves the babies alone, right? And leave the young people alone, and the old people get wiped out. There is no rhyme or reason on how pathogens want to work, bro. So I hear what you're trying to say. I get it. This particular pathogen, you can stick your chest out if you're young and bigger, but an old person got to run and hide. So a vaccine, right, will save the old people. A mask, right, is saving the old people. Do we really care about the older people in our community from 60 to 70 years old? We're all going to be 60 and 70 one day.
Absolutely. Let me be clear on this. I'm not anti-vaccination for people who need it. I'm anti-vaccination for when I feel like somebody's trying to force it on me, or when I feel like my children have to get it to go to school or go on the football field or to go to the gym. That's where I start finding an issue with it. When I feel like now it's being forced as opposed to it being a healthy option for people who need it.
Human beings need it because we're surrounded by trillions of billions of viruses and bacteria. The human population is 7 billion, meaning we're starting to encroach in ecosystems where animals live. They're running out of space. So more viruses are going to start transferring. Zoonotic, it's called zoonotic, right? Where disease, where a virus jumps from or bacteria jumps from an animal to a human. The Black Plague, right? The Black Plague was caused by rats. Infected fleas on rats bit humans, right? So as the population gets larger, you know what I'm saying? We start moving to the ecosystem, we're getting more closer to animals. There is no escaping it, right? Global warming, you know what I'm saying? Ecological niches are getting destroyed. Man, we all need vaccines. Would you want the measles? Remember up in New York, the measles start breaking out.
The Jewish community.
Jewish community. Anti-vax Jewish community. Wipe them out. Like you get brain damage from measles. See, right now, it's called out of sight, out of mind. This is what I said at that debate. Out of sight, out of mind. And I said at that debate a year ago, I said it's not a matter of if a pathogen will attack us, it's a matter of when. Here we go. So we all need vaccines, right? They got vaccines against cancer now. The human papilloma disease, right? You won't want to give your daughters that so they don't catch cancer, cervical cancer. I mean, the decision is yours. And for the record, they do not make you get vaccines. In the United States of America, you do not have to have a vaccine. You do not have to get vaccinated. Let's be very, very clear on this, right? Now, because since they know better, right? Because they actually study it, if you want to come in certain buildings of theirs, you have to be vaccinated.
Like public,
you know what I'm saying? But you can homeschool your kids. Go ahead, bro.
No, like I was saying, like, all right, for example, in my children's school, my daughter's in preschool, and they just recently passed a law that if you're under the age of 5, outside of any religious reasons, you have to be vaccinated with the flu shot in particular. Obviously, there were ways around it if you decided not to have your child vaccinated with the flu shot. Right. And now they're looking to even get rid of that and make it mandatory for children under the age of 5 to attend school. They have to have the flu shot.
Right.
Yeah, you know how many people die from the flu? Wait a minute.
Each year.
Think about like right now, like, so say, they got this coronavirus going around and they come up with something that could prevent it from affecting your child. Would you send your child to school knowing that the coronavirus is, and saying that they're on a healthy diet, and would you trust that? Or would you look at a vaccine as being something that, okay, well, I mean, if it's showing that it works, and if they're showing me that they can actually prevent my child from getting the coronavirus, then, I mean, it's one of them things you just have to really look up and see the process of the vaccine. You know what I mean? And I wanted to add one point to why a lot of Black people are getting it is because, like, I believe Chef said it one time, lack of access to healthcare. Like a lot of people don't got health insurance, and I mean, that's one of the major things that you need in this community to be healthy.
So this whole COVID-19 thing is pretty much, from my knowledge of it, it starts like in your throat or whatever, then it goes into your lungs, and it pretty much affects people's breathing. So why is it killing more, the kill rate higher in Blacks and Latinos than it is in Chinese, Asians, or Caucasians?
The Surgeon General is African American, right? For the whole United States. He laid out a number of health issues that Black people suffer from, and also that he suffered from asthma, right? As a little child. How many people in our community that we know growing up had asthma? You'll play football with a cat, you know what I mean? He had to take a time out, you know what I mean? Everybody come over to him, where's Pump at? Where's Pump at? You feel me? Let him get some air. You feel me? So a lot of those things, a lot of people kids develop that, right? In the Black community, the asthma, right? Now, if you have asthma, you're going to have any type of pneumonia, bronchitis, or anything that attacks your respiratory system. You're going to be at a higher risk, you know what I mean, to die. You see what I'm saying? Diabetes. They pointed out diabetes is a big contributor why the mortality rate is higher in African Americans, is because of the complications to diabetes, and the effect on your immune system is compromised. You see what I'm saying? So how many people in our families and in the Black community we know with asthma and diabetes, right? Then obesity. The godson just passed away. You know what I mean? Now look at his conditions. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the Black community, you can single them out, because we had higher numbers in certain health issues leading up to the pandemic. You see what I'm saying? So I don't back to the vaccines and vaccinating your children. I hope I answered that. Was that clear?
Hold on, watch this. The flu is a vaccine preventable disease. You got 290,000 to 650,000 people die a year globally, right, from the flu. Okay, this flu season, 34,000 died. Like, it's a vaccine preventable illness, right? Sometimes see people say, well, it's a different strand. I think it was the A strand this year, right? And they didn't have the exact vaccine for it. What they don't tell you is that even though it might not be the exact strain, I think they had 3 different strands for you in the vaccine, you still will get coverage. You still won't be as sick as everybody else. It's a vaccine preventable disease. And so the Black communities, like you said, like Ken said, we don't have health care, right? We got high diabetes, high blood pressure. Just look at all the types of foods we have in our community. We don't have whole food markets in our community. I mean, y'all brothers promote healthy diets. The conscious community promote healthy diets, right? So, but if you just got all fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, Checkers, you know what I'm saying? Once you get past a certain age, man, if you ain't still young and vigor, you're gonna start getting fat and out of shape. You know, how many Black communities you see running? Come on, man, we play basketball. After a certain age, we done. We're not doing the things that we need to keep a healthy, fit population. But at the end of the day, depending on the type of virus that is attacking you, it might just attack all the healthy people. Like seriously, like I told you in 1918, it attacked the most strong in the daggone community. That's great. Look it up.
Hey, check this out. In China, when they broke down the numbers of the people that the mortality rate, they found out that their older population were heavy smokers, and they were devastated the most during the pandemic over there in China, right? Their older people smoke a lot of cigarettes, you know what I mean? So we have a lot of people that smoke in our community. Again, it attacks your lungs. So if you smoke for 20, 25 years and you catch that, your lungs are not as healthy. A person who smokes, lungs are not as healthy as a person who don't smoke. And if you smoke for 25 years and you catch something that attacks your respiratory system, your lungs and stuff, you're going to have adverse complications to that. You see what I'm saying? Like, and this is for the chat, right? This is for the chat because I've been reading it. It's more of a thing where we just presenting the other side of the equation. Y'all can, we can believe whatever we want to believe at the end of the day, but we can't deny that we're actually dying from this, that we're actually going through something. So if we believe that our food is going to save us, right? If we believe that it's the 5G, throw your cell phone away, eat healthy, and if you get it, don't go to the hospital. And then see what's going to happen. So I'm trying to figure out what is our alternative. What is the black people remedy to fight this pandemic if we disbelieve everything that science and the medical community is putting forth to us? I want to know what is the alternative to actually fight what's going on. That's the question.
Numbers talk.
Okay, go ahead. I'm back.
Numbers talk and bullshit walk. So the CDC estimate that from October the 1st, 2019 through April 4th, 2020, there have been 39 million, between 39 million and 59 million flu illnesses. Okay, this is in America because the CDC is in America, right? 18 million to 26 million flu medical visits. 410,000 to 740,000 flu hospitalizations. 24,000 to 62,000 flu deaths in America. These are vaccine preventable diseases. The novel SARS coronavirus 2 in a minute is going to be a vaccine preventable disease. But I tell you what, more people going to get this vaccine because this is not out of sight. This is not out of mind. Like Brother Chef said, man, what's the alternative? Food? So we walk around, eat vegan, and have the green glow? If the Egyptians couldn't do it eating, the Romans couldn't do it eating, what makes it, if the West Africans couldn't do it eating, and I'm saying they ain't got no chemicals in their food.
The Native Americans, they was eating healthy as I don't know what. But another thing about the 5G, right? I don't know if we fully covered that, but do the American population know, or the African American population know that we don't even have 5G in this country?
Right.
Did not cities that have it already? No.
It hasn't been rolled out yet, right? If you have an iPhone, right? You see the 5G in your corner, and y'all don't see that?
No.
It's a 5GE. That's something completely different. But you know what I mean? That was a point that one of the experts that we brought on one of our panels had brought up, that 5G hasn't even been rolled out in the country yet. So
the conspiracy came from the Russians, right? They don't have it even. China has it. And so they was really trying to discourage, through the internet, through the black community, the promotion of conspiracy theories, right? To kind of slow down that, because that 5G is going to be intelligent, because it's going to be needed, because you're going to be using it, you're going to be weaponizing it. That's just called what it is. You're going to need 5G. You're just going to need that. And so that campaign was started by the daggone Russians. It was a geopolitical thing. The same thing that happened with the election, the Russians got in it, right? So they promoted certain, matter of fact, the news station that promoted it is down the street from the daggone White House. As a matter of fact, right? Russian station. So, man, at the end of the day, man, look, these things are very, very clear. What if not vaccines? What? Let me ask y'all that. We ain't gonna never get a good answer. Give me an example. I just want one example.
I got a question. What were people doing before vaccines, and when, like, the first vaccine?
Dying.
Yeah, well, I wanted to add
before vaccine.
I wanted to add something to that, right? So, a lot of times we get comfortable in our advancements in technology in the medical field. Like, we're living average life expectancy is like 78 years old right now. 100 years ago was 40 something years old. You know what I'm saying? And that's due to the advancements that we've made in our medical field and our technology and things like that. So, I mean, before vaccines, like we was pretty toe up. You know what I'm saying? Like we was 48. Like imagine 40 something years old. Like so, I'm in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? So that means I got like 10 more years before
28, yo.
So,
28 years old, yo. That was old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you was middle age in their 20s back in them days,
What? Yeah, that's
like 100 years, 1900. I think the average was like 48, 49 or something.
Right, but the question that he asked was, what were people doing
before the
vaccines? The answer is they were dying. You see what I'm saying? Just think. I don't know if more than likely y'all during World War II we had a president, Roosevelt, who had polio. Right, back in the early 1900s, polio was a real big issue, right? And it attacked kids. He caught polio when he was a child. Now, he survived polio, but he lost the use of his legs. It paralyzed him. So a lot of people can get through these epidemics, or these pandemics and different things, but they're going to be affected by it. We don't even know the long-term effects of the people that went through this COVID-19. We don't even know the long-term effects or the damage that is going to cause because it's so new, right? So just think, if your lungs going through this, we don't know the lung capacity or how much longer people are going to live after they go through this. You see what I'm saying? It's scary. You know what I mean? It's definitely a scary situation because it's damaging people's lungs. So, I mean,
let me answer the question for him, Chef.
Go ahead.
Let me give you some numbers here. Let's go to the Japanese smallpox epidemic, 735 to 737. 1 million people died. Viola major virus. That's what it was called. The plague of Justinian. Okay. 541 to 542. Matter of fact, they say that helped bring the Roman Empire to end. That was the pestis bacteria, rats and fleas. 30 to 50 million people died. Let's go to the Black Death, 1347 to 1351. Yersinia pestis bacteria, rats and fleas. 200 million people died. Let's go to the New World smallpox outbreak, 1520 and outwards. Viola major virus. 56 million people died. Okay, the Great Plague of London, 1665, 100,000 people died, bacteria. Man, we died. Matter of fact, today, let me move up. Let's move up to 1981 virus, AIDS virus, 25 to 35 million people. Hong Kong flu, 1968, 1970. H3N2 virus, 1 million people died. Asian flu, 1957, 1958, 1.1 million. Spanish flu, 50 to 40 million. That's 1918. That's what I was talking about. The Russian flu, 1989 to 1890, believed to be H2N2, avian origin, 1 million. Yellow fever, you know what I'm saying? Virus, mosquitoes, 100,000 people to 150,000 people. Man, listen, man. It's not a matter of when another pathogen will come, right? No, my fault. It's not a matter of if another pathogen will come. It's a matter of when. We're in the middle of one right now. The evidence is all around. If this don't change your mind, right? When you look your babies in the eyes, nothing will, man.
What about the second wave they're talking about? They're saying it might. Wait, now my thing is, how do you predict something? How do y'all feel about the second wave? You think it's going to happen? And do we need a vaccine right away, or is it going to be chaos? How y'all feel about that?
Need a vaccine, bro. The good eating food and the vitamin C ain't working. All the medical, all the naturopaths and all that, where you at? They dying.
Especially if they opening things back up. It's like we ain't even fully recovered from this yet, and they open beaches back up and the city back up? Like, man, it's gonna be crazy.
Happened in 1918, didn't it? Didn't that happen in 1918? They opened stuff back up too fast. Yeah, you're right. So it's mutating anyway. The strand we got came from London. So it's mutating, and it could come back. Watch this. It could come back like a little rabbit. That's what happened in 1918. The first joint, when it came, they have a couple places they think it could have came from. In the United States, right? On a farm in the United States, from a bird that infected a pig and a human that infected the pig, and it mutated in the pig. Okay? There you go, those genomic transfers, right? Or it could have been in China, right? Or it could have been in Europe, right? When it first started out, it wasn't even that bad, y'all. When they came back, it was roaring. Okay, so yep, right there, it's a possibility, man. It could come back stronger or weaker, bro. I think we already down at 9 strands or something like that. Mutating. Yeah, corona ain't no joke. Not to mention, you think you got mild symptoms. They starting to find out that people with mild symptoms are vulnerable to strokes now.
Damn.
Little sniffles, little cough. They say, if you got simple symptoms, bring your ass on in now. They want to give you blood thinners so you won't get blood clots and have a stroke.
See?
Man, they don't know. Okay, what do you expect me? They don't know. They don't know.
It's
come back and kill all the vegans.
Right, but it's one thing I'm starting to see in my community in Baltimore. I'm starting to see a lot more people with masks on now. So they actually taking it like, I mean, no matter what people saying on the internet, I know black people on the ground. I know MBK, the channel MBK, the brother Truth Story, and he walks through New York every day, right? Yeah. And I'm starting to see all these people in New York, black people with masks on. You dig what I'm saying? And my city in Baltimore, every time I go out the house, I'm actually seeing crack addicts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With masks on. So our people, no matter what the internet is saying about all these conspiracy theories, we're starting to take this serious. That's a good thing. You feel me? That no matter what our beliefs are, where it came from, what's the cause of it, I'm glad we're starting to take this serious. So, you know, and I'm glad channels like y'all is actually covering it and actually taking it serious, because y'all a hip hop channel and I definitely watch y'all. But I'm glad that, you know, even y'all are, even if y'all disagree, y'all cover it. You feel me? Y'all have people on here that can give a different point of view, so we can get the whole spectrum. So our community is definitely taking this serious, and I think we going in the right direction. You feel me?
Definitely. There were a lot of people out there I've seen that you know, weren't taking it serious enough. You know what I mean? Out there, and I was like, man, and I saw a lot of people pushing misinformation, and some people might think that this is misinformation, but we encourage people to go look at the fact. Look it up for yourself. Don't just listen to what people say. That's what I did with the 5G. I went to go look at it for myself, as opposed to listening to people on the internet. And I came back with the conclusion, I don't think it's the 5G. So that's what we definitely promote over here. No doubt.
Indeed.
Shout out to Jamal Milton, yo. Man, you know what I'm saying? He got a hell of a nice following. And he went on ahead and he went there to the 5G tower and looked them like, man, that's not real right there. Shout out to you, Jamal. I see
5G and 4G.
I mean, shout out to, huh?
My bad for cutting you off. What's the difference between 5G and 4G? Because we got 4G now. So the 5G, like, you know, what's the big fuss about? Why is everybody saying like, all right, now it's about to get crazy with the 5G? Can anybody cover that?
It's dealing with, you know, shorter wave frequencies and how all of that communicates with each other and all that. It's I don't know, one is like 4th generation, the other one is 5th. I'm not really
that's it. That's it.
On that definitely.
They done made it spooky.
I understand it's like the wavelength is different. The frequencies is different on it. My bad, go ahead. Oh shit.
Oh no, I mean I wouldn't be able to break that down.
I don't know where Corey yet. I was waiting for Corey to come.
I was thinking Corey should sit on his jump.
Shout out to Corey, shout out to Nahisi, shout out to Dr. Oyama Yacht. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, the 5G is supposed to make things download faster. It's supposed to be faster internet. It's supposed to be able to allow you to what's that virtual reality where the augmented reality supposed to be able to do that. They're thinking about doing like automated vehicles with it, being able to communicate with that, and it's gonna be pretty dope when it comes. When people are not afraid of it no more. You know what I mean? Right now it's like they don't know, so they scared of what they don't know. You know what I mean? But if you go and look at the credible websites on it that's really explaining to you, you know what I'm saying? You understand it's harmless. The radiation ain't nowhere near nothing that's going to cause you any kind of sickness, damage, none of that.
The sun is actually more dangerous than your cell phone radiation. The radiation that comes from the sun that we go outside every day is actually more harmful than 5G. And that sounds crazy to black people. Yeah, I know. It sounds crazy to us. How could the sun be more harmful than a human technology? Because the radiation is higher. I mean, is that you feel it on you can feel the sun on your skin. You can feel it. It burns you. That radiation is actually higher than what you get from a cell phone or microwave phones. And actually, they say your television emits more radiation than your cell phone, and we sit in front of our televisions for hours. So ain't nobody never say that was causing a virus or anything. So we just got to start making sense of these things. But like I said, no matter what we believe, I'm glad we starting to take this pandemic seriously. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people are taking the proper precautions, right? So,
they're not even hold on. They're not even licensed. No, go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead.
Even with the they try to compare 4G or cell phones to microwaves. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was a microwave had 700 watts of power compared to a phone that has less than 1 watt. You know what I mean? So it's really the difference. I believe Dr. Mott spoke on this. She said the difference is power. But that goes into the whole like understanding that field. You know what I mean? And just people got to do their research, man, and really look into this stuff.
Yeah, you're only licensed for 58.2 megahertz in this country anyway, and they only use. Guess how much they're using, right? But they're gonna be using like 2.5. You know what I'm saying? They're not even gonna be up to the 4.2. They're not even up to. They ain't gonna be nowhere near that. You know what I'm saying? So we need to understand regulations. There are regulatory committees, right? That don't even allow the amounts that these people be talking about that can hurt you. You know what I'm saying? 300 megahertz. They're not even regulated for that. So it's just a whole bunch of, like always, oh God, you know me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stick to the science, right? We're undefeated with that. Science is undefeated. Now, what your level of trust in science is based off your level of understanding of science.
No doubt, man. Well, I'm gonna open up the floor for y'all to, anything else you want the people to know, man, before we get up out of here tonight, man. Anybody, y'all could go, or somebody want to take the lead.
Check us out on the Pseudo Killers. You know what I mean? Subscribe. Appreciate y'all. What I'm saying, for having us.
Anytime, bro.
Fact.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all picked up made the call and actually dealing with it. Like that's because I know a lot of people that watch y'all channel. Y'all cover the hip hop, so most people come over here for the hip hop, and it's good to have hip hop stations and podcasts that's actually covering this. It just shows that we're actually starting to take this thing serious. You feel me? So all media, hands on deck. Let's get out there. Let's spread the information. Let's help our people get through this. And I appreciate y'all for that.
No doubt.
Yeah, I had people say all the time, well, we want to hear the other side. There is no other side to science. The other side to science is pseudoscience. I'm going to say this real slow so we can get this. You'll hear a lot of people say, well, we want to hear the other side to it. No, issues of science is handled within science. The debate rages within science. Anything outside of science is called pseudoscience. Incorrect. Look like science, but is not science. Pseudo, incorrect. It's the measure of where a community needs to be. So you got a lot of channels that's dedicated to pseudoscience, right? The conscious community, right, has been dedicated to pseudoscience, which is really brought forth by other communities, like for instance, Madame Blavatsky. She started the Theocratical Society. She went to India. She came back over. She learned, trained with some mystics, right? Came back over here, mixed all the religions together. She was a racist, right? She started what you wouldn't call like the New Age movements, right? Where you start hearing terms like the goddess and the gods. This was veganism. It was introduced by Europeans to our community, right? So we have been destroyed by misinformation, right? Plain and simple, misinformation. The truth is
misinformation from white people.
Misinformation for white people. It's just, I mean, it is. New Age community, New Age.
I gotta say this real quick. I rock with you, brothers, but it's funny you say that. But then the one savior of this coronavirus is a European patented virus killer.
A European patent? What you mean?
The vaccine.
He explained that vaccines started with Africans.
I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah, that's an African idea.
So it's not something that's alien to black people. It's something that we actually dealt with. The precursor to vaccines is inoculation, right? And it was brought to this country by a West African named Onesimus, right? And up in Boston. So Africans been dealing with, this form of protecting their population, from time immemorial. It goes all the way back to Egypt, actually. We have records of them fighting the Assyrians, right? And they infected the Assyrians with, was it smallpox? Smallpox. It decimated the Assyrians. So it goes back. So we've been knew about this. We've been knew about inoculation. That's the precursor to vaccines. So by you saying that that's the savior, I'm sorry, but
the Africans did it.
Yeah, even if white people came up with it, right? White people probably came up with the computer, but we use it. They probably came up with the car, but we use it. We would rather use our car in the subway train versus walking, right? So just because another population or community came up with something, don't make it evil. You know what I mean? Like if vaccines have been proven to extend the human age and to boost our populations, why wouldn't we use it? Why would we demonize something that's been proven to be beneficial to us? Like you said, name one person that died from a vaccine.
I don't know anybody who's died from a vaccine. I know people that's gotten sicker from getting that flu shot than they were walking into it. And that's off of just what I know. Like I said, y'all, the wealth of knowledge you guys are presenting is far beyond what I have. I'm sitting here listening to every word, and I appreciate every word you guys are saying. But my comments, I don't want to say my common sense, my spirit is just kind of disagreeing with certain aspects of the argument. The vaccines, I don't know. I get
it.
And that's respect. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was the same way, but the more I dug into it and really just like, okay, so that's why they do. Okay. And it just makes more sense the more you look into it. So, I mean, y'all doing the right thing by even just having
people. Yeah, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Yeah, definitely.
You doing the right thing. So let me hit you with this, though. Common sense is an enemy to science. Your senses is an enemy to science, right? The way your spirit feels about it is an enemy to science. Science don't care about none of that. None of that. Nope. Don't care about what kind of God you got. You can be in India and have a God, 10 gods. You can go to the Nile Valley, have thousands of gods. You can go right to Palestine and Judea, have Jesus Christ. You can go to Judea, and get Yahweh. You can go right to the Hittite Empire. You can go to the Zulus, get Kulu. You can go to the deep part of Africa, Central Africa, North Africa. You can go to India, Colo in Mexico. Science don't care about none of that. Science do not care about none of that, right? Science cares about what you can prove and verify, like what actually works. So the point I was making is that the New Age information, which is really the discarded information, right, from European communities, is what we're using. They're using high African science. Like inoculation was cutting edge medical science at the time. You talking about during a time period in the 1700s when a doctor was a quack. Y'all think doctors are quacks now. Back then, you couldn't tell the difference between a medical doctor and a quack. You know how you ride around on a wagon, you know what I'm saying, with the oil, you know what I'm saying, the snake oil and all that. Man, shoot, all they had back then was a good prayer and some snake oil.
Another point, and I know we got to get off. Just think of the things that the African actually brought to America that was cutting edge to the European, right? They're doctors, like we said. Onesimus, right? The West African brought the inoculation that then turned into vaccines. The mortality rate of people having babies, right? Females, it was damn near a 50% chance that a female would die during childbirth or complication to childbirth, right? When the Africans came, right, the doctors went to the African women to see why their women was living at a higher rate than the white people after they gave birth. And what they realized that after they watched these black women, they seen that they were boiling hot towels. They were washing their hands. Like that stuff seems so basic to us now. Yeah. But back then in the 1700s, when they was bringing Africans over, those Europeans wasn't practicing these things, right? They would operate on a person, right? And on that same table with blood on it, right? They'd knock the dead body off of there with all of the blood and disease on there and bring a woman in there and deliver birth. She will get infected, you know what I mean, from that poor sanitary. So they said, hold up, well, what is these African women doing? Because these babies are living longer, right? They were sterilizing equipment. They were boiling water. They were washing their hands. You feel me? They was using clean water, things like that. So the African participated in this scientific revolution that we're now demonizing because white people then went to a whole nother level with something that we started. So we just basically got to get back on board, right?
We got to get back involved. We got to get
back involved because our people can do it. You see
How about Percy? How about Percy Julian? Who is Percy Julian? Right? He's the first scientist in the history of the world to reach total synthesis. What does that mean? He synthesized plants, right? He extracted the chemicals. You know what I'm saying? He identified the active agents and plants that you use in the pharmaceutical industry for your medicines. This man was a millionaire. He's my favorite scientist. You know why? Because he and his son, right, on his front lawn, camped out in a tree and was shooting at white people when they was burning crosses. You know what I'm saying? Because he had a mansion. You know what I'm saying? This dude he had his own business, right? Codeine, that come out of his lab. They said it was a miracle cure for arthritis. Also birth control. Man, that's Julian Percy right there.
Black man.
How about Henrietta Lacks? Y'all know about that? About any chance?
Yeah, the cells. Henrietta Lacks, and she was the one that they took the cells from that they are reproducing. Yeah. You talking about that Henrietta Lacks? Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. What about her?
That was real.
If you have any correlation to what you guys are talking about or no? Henrietta Lacks.
That's how you take some black people shit and don't give them credit for it. That wasn't right. Let's talk about the syphilis. Let's talk about that. How they
mentioned syphilis.
Huh?
They said they gave us syphilis during the test. Somebody just go ahead, break that down.
No, young, just go to Encyclopedia Wikipedia, man. I think what they did was more hideous. What they did was they left us untreated and studied it for 40 years, meaning you could go back out into the community and get them affected. That was crazy. Read the book of Medical Apartheid. And the reason I say read that book is because remember when I was getting ready to debate the anti-vaccine community, right? Robert John F. Kennedy Jr. actually contacted the sister that wrote that book. He was trying to get on her side, right? And you know what I mean? One day I'll show the statement on our channel, right? I was saving it, right? She said she absolutely agrees with vaccine science. Out of all the stuff they did, remember, they did it to themselves too. right? Which is crazy, unscrupulous, and I get it. But it's 2020. We need to get more people involved in science, right? More, the hip hop generation needs to get, and we need more scientists and more doctors, you know what I'm saying? And that's real power for us. So, you know what I mean? I appreciate us coming through, man. Make sure you support all the family, Amara Squad, Mossy Clan, Warriors, MBK, you know what I'm saying? Man, support us, right? Supporting what we do, teaching scientific literacy. Remember, scientific literacy is a vaccine, right, against the charlatans in your community.
Definitely, man. We'd definitely like to have you brothers again to come through, anytime y'all want and drop some knowledge for the people, man. We're open, to that and just, questioning people and getting the right information out. So, yeah, man, another powerful show in the books tonight, Sam, man. Definitely.
Yeah, indeed. Appreciate the brothers in the panel who came on. Y'all hit that like button, hit that 5-star rating, whether you're watching or listening on any platform. We're going to get up out of here, man. This is Sandman Viral Hip Hop News. Oh, God, Hip Hop News Uncensored. Appreciate the panel, man. As always, we're the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Over and out.
Peace, brothers.
Peace.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
Y'all take care, man. Blessings. Appreciate y'all.
Man. Appreciate that support right there, man. That was real responsible.
No doubt, bro. All right, y'all. Take it easy. All right.
Peace.
All right.
All right.